I started on another series. It's called Black Hammer. I had been going through the DC Comics Wildcats books, but I I think I've just abandoned it. It's struggling too much, and even last night when I sat down, I read an issue of Void Rivals, and I was like, right, will I do another Wildcats? Started on it. It's just such a struggle, and I was like, I need to kind of do something else. And like, I think it's just really bad. The Wildcats one was, it's just all over the place, and I didn't really want to have just do a video dedicated to trashing it, like, because it's one of my favorite properties, and cherished teenage years reading those books, like. So I'll just kind of leave it there. I won't do any more videos, and I guess I'm gonna move on to other stuff, like. But this is one book that popped up on Global Comics. Someone had told me before. I was in a comic shop once looking for recommendations, and I think the guy who was working there said that this was really good. At the time, I didn't. For one reason or another, I didn't pick it up. Like, so, I'm having a look now, and there's some really, really beautiful artwork at times, and then some kind of funky artwork at times. Like, but it's weird. It's almost like, it seems like a lot of the comics where the story is really appealing to me, you get more of a quirky kind of art style, and I can definitely appreciate it. My preference is, I do love the kind of classic, probably, superheroes that like are all like real good looking and like, beautiful, and just that whole kind of aesthetic. Like, that's something that kind of, it just goes back to, I think, probably Andy Kubert drawing the X-Men characters, Jim Lee drawing X-Men. Like, that's kind of where it's my kind of baseline or whatever. Like, but this is like a really interesting story, a much more unusual art style. But it's kind of, you see this art style a lot in a lot of books. It's quite popular. I don't know. It's kind of more in the mainstream books as well, I see, and I think it's just down to probably the age of people reading these types of comics, like. But the story, it seems like a group of superheroes were in some kind of battle and ended up in some weird alternate dimension where it's like an old, it's kind of like a small town in America, and they can't get out. Like, they're just trapped there, like. And there are all these real unusual characters, but just, I love this scene here. It's like once a year they all come together, so they're gathered around this hammer. It's called Black Hammer. I think one of the heroes sacrificed himself so that the rest of them could live on. They were fighting some kind of big demigod creature or something like that, like. And it's like they almost have this memorial around, obviously this hammer has come through with them, like. But I just love, like, the art is a little Mignola-esque, and like some of the characters are really cool, I have to say. Like, you've kind of got this mechanical guy. It seems like you're starting to kind of get a feel for the characters' personalities. Like, this robotic dude, he's always trying to get out. Like, he's trying to come up with these probes and make probes to get them out. Like, this older kind of gentleman here, like, I think he's actually enjoying living there now. He's just happy there. There's not much about this female character here, like, or this guy. He's kind of like, it's almost like he's phasing in and out of reality and his mind is gone, so like there's not much about that character. And then there's these two who, I'll see if I can get a close-up of those. There's one of them, he's kind of like, maybe he's some kind of alien dude or something like that, like. And then there's a girl, I think she was an adult woman, but she's now in a girl's body. Like, I think they were put here and they're in different bodies and stuff like that, like. But yeah, it's just, there's kind of a lot of interesting things, you're it's always kind of nice starting a new book, because you're kind of waiting, like, as I always say, you're waiting for that hook or something to drag you in, like. And there was kind of a nice hook at the end, like, it wasn't really a twist, but it jumps back to the city that they came from, this Spiral City, and you can see that the daughter of this Black Hammer character, she's kind of doing this monologue here, and then you can see here she's a reporter or something, like. That's a beautiful shot there, like, just her in the silhouette, and then you can see the city in the background. I love the way there's no sky. It's just like buildings, like, you know, just taking up the complete view, like, which is really cool, and just that kind of green lighting of the city, like. But yeah, she's kind of convinced that they're still alive, and she's like, I'm gonna find them. And it's a nice way to end the issue. Even this is cool here. Like, I think that's the cover for the second issue. Really nice. This is the little girl character. But yeah, look, it'd be interesting to see where it goes. I haven't got a clue where it's gonna go, but I guess I'll push on with it and see. Like, the art is pretty nice. Like, there's kind of, I guess the only, like, I have to be a little bit critical, you know. I don't want to be like slamming a book, like, but my only criticism is, see, nobody's going to stay on this long, so they won't even know. They won't even know I've been criticising it. Some of the faces are just the kind of rendering on them. It's a bit not wishy-washy, but I don't know. Sometimes there's just a lot of lines there that don't seem to be needed or something, like, even that. It's just a small criticism, like, and it doesn't happen all the time. Like, it's weird. I think some artists are really good at doing the kind of quirky stuff and like the unusual characters, and like there's some really unusual characters in this, and I think this artist is doing a great job on them. But just sometimes the odd just when you want the kind of normal regular human face, like, some of it's a bit bizarre, and then some of it's great, like, love that, like, you know. This guy's unusual looking, but well, yeah, look, Black Hammer, interesting. Definitely interested in the story and the setup and stuff like that, like, so we'll see where that goes.